Our group is Group 1. This is our group presentation. This is our members. ESG washing refers to companies exaggerating or falsely promoting ESG performance to make themselves appear more sustainable and ethical, but in fact they do not take corresponding actions. This behavior not only misleads investors and consumers, but also gradually undermines the public's trust in corporate reports and may even affect funds, delisting risk or class action lawsuits. Normative ethical theories are commonly divided into two major branches: teleological ethics and deontological ethics. These theories offer different criteria to assess the moral justification of corporate actions. From the perspective of ethical theories, utilitarianism believes that the long-term social cost of ESG washing is far greater than its short-term benefits. So it is an unethical behavior. Deontology emphasizes honesty and respect, and greenwashing is essentially a false statement that violent moral obligations. Real true ethics and stakeholder theory both point out the management should treat all stakeholders with honesty and transparency, and greenwashing clearly violates the responsibilities and the characters that companies should have. Therefore, to understand ESG washing, we must not only look at the surface, but also conduct in-depth analysis in combination with ethics, systems, and governance struggles to truly promote the sustainable transformation of enterprise.
So it's for the part A, question B1 and question B2. The first is question B1. ESG washing is not just a moral issue, it affects how the public trusts a company, and it can damage the credibility of the company's suitability efforts. So the technology one, carefully review ESG rating and certifications. First, check if ESG rating comes from trusted and independent institutions. Different rating agents use different standards, so their scores may vary a lot. Secondly, see if the company has third-party certifications like ISO 14001 or B Corp. This makes the ESG claims more credible. Finally, avoid companies that only use self-assessment or don't explain their ESG rating method. For the technology two, using a quantitative framework for evaluation is ESGSI. Dr. Lagersold developed a tool called ESGSI. It uses natural language processing and ESG term analysis to support examination in sustainability reports. If a report uses very positive language but not real data, ESGSI will give it a high risk score. Next is question B2. First is the firm value decline. According to CEO turnover, ESG washing and firm value, frequent CEO changes are often linked to ESG washing. Now, new CEOs may feel pressure to show good short-term results and use ESG washing to make the company look better. But this cannot last. Once the trust is exposed, public trust drops, stock price becomes unstable, and the company's financing costs go up, all leading to lower firm value. And second is regulatory and legal costs. When ESG washing is exposed, people begin to adopt all of the company's ESG disclosures. Regulators may increase their oversight, and in some countries, companies may even face legal action. This brings not only reputation damage, but also real costs, fines, lawsuits, and higher compliance expenses.
I will talk about how much shareholders and stakeholders help stop companies from doing the wrong thing. I will use 3 Malaysian companies as examples: Top Glove, SD Roofing, and FGV Holdings. Let's start with the stakeholders. In 2018, The Guardian reported that Top Glove was treating its workers badly. They were made to work too much. Their passports were taken away, and some were forced to work. And in 2020, an NGO called Liberty started also found similar problems at ST Greasy, including child labor. Because of these reports, the US government ended products from these companies, and many people stopped buying their products. This shows that stakeholders like the media and NGOs can make a big difference by speaking out and using legal or public pressure. Now let's look at shareholders. When Top Glove and ST3 were removed from the FTSE for ESG index, investors lost trust in them. As a result, the companies had to look into their problems and even change some leaders. The pressure worked out. In 2021, the US changed its import ban on Top Glove, and ST Greasy ban was removed after 2 years. Together, these actions pushed all 3 companies to do better. For example, FGV Holdings sent full reports to the US in 2024 and 2025 to show how they were improving. In conclusion, the shareholders and stakeholders are not just watching from the side. They can truly help companies act more responsibility and treat people fairly.
About human rights discovery and comprehension. First of all, Top Glove has made some progress in sharing human rights information. It was removed from the export ban in just 9 months. Among the 3 affected companies, Top Glove responded the fastest and showed the most effort. We can see the table, and the table clearly shows that. The company's top leaders also took part in the collection process, showing some level of commitment. In terms of information sharing, Top Glove follows the main idea of the APES 110 code, putting public interest first. In its annual report, it shares 3 key points. First is allow all workers now keep their own passports, meeting ILO standards against forced labor. Second is overtime hours and recording, showing better control of working conditions. The third one is the use of outside adults and anonymous complaints helps improve transparency and public trust. However, there are still problems. The report avoids talking about the past issue like workers' debates and does not clearly explain who is responsible or how they will fix those problems. The company also has not mentioned any training in moral values and all efforts to inform company culture. This shows that its focus is still on just following rules and not building a stronger moral system. Talk about the evaluation of moral decision-making theory. The first is technological ethic, which is based on outcomes. It is left the benefit avoid 2.8 billion in export losses, which is a good result, but delaying dormitory upgrade until 2022 may harm workers, raising moral concerns. The deontological ethics, which is based on duties. Although the company apologized, contracts are still in English, which ignores workers' rights to understand their agreements. The last one is virtual ethics, which based on character. Donating to labor funds shows honesty, but the company still lacks deep moral values and long-term responsibility. That's all.
I'd like to share with the steps that Top Glove has taken to improve its corporate governance. According to its 2024 annual report, Top Glove has made its ESG reporting significantly more transparent. It has released detailed reports on its labor practices, particularly efforts to address past issues related to forced labor. This level of openness is not just a formality, it's essential. As scholars point out, transparent ESG reporting helps maintain stakeholder trust and is key to long-term financial health. When companies acknowledge and work to fix challenges in workers' rights, they earn greater public and investor confidence. Top Glove has also taken concrete action to improve labor conditions. This includes eliminating forced overtime, ensuring fair wages, and enhancing the living conditions of its workers. Scholars emphasize that continuous improvement in labor standards is especially crucial in manufacturing sectors where many workers are migrants. Aligning with global standards not only boosts worker morale but also helps avoid legal and reputational risks. To ensure these efforts are more than just words on paper, TopGlow hires independent third-party auditors to monitor its progress. These external checks are essential for ensuring accountability and for driving meaningful change. Scholars highlight that third-party auditors are key to upholding labor and human rights standards while promoting transparency. In response to past criticisms, such as allegation of debt bondage, TopGlow has also implemented ethical recruitment practices. It has eliminated recruitment fees and ensured foreign workers regain possession of their passports. This shift is significant. Scholars argue that ethical hiring, especially in industries that rely heavily on migrant labor, leads to more loyal and productive employees because they feel respected and valued. Looking ahead, TopGlow is expected to further align with international labor standards and strengthen its human rights due diligence across the supply chain. Scholars note that adhering to international labor conventions, such as those by the ILO, is vital to managing reputation and regulatory risks. Scholars also emphasize the importance of giving workers a greater voice. Mechanisms like worker councils and union representation can promote healthier communication between workers and management, leading to more sustainable labor practices. Lastly, scholars stress that companies that demonstrate strong ESG practices may see financial incentives. This could further motivate TopGlow and similar firms to continue advancing their labor and governance reforms. Thank you.